Welcome back to another episode of today's economic news, where we not only deliver the headlines, but also dig deep into the stories that shape our economy. I'm John, your host, and today we are diving into a topic that's bound to stir some thoughts and opinions: Operation Pacific Viper and its massive 20,000-pound cocaine seizure. You might think it's a victory in the ongoing war on drugs, but hold on. Before we throw confetti, let's examine the layers of complexity and perhaps controversy behind this operation. Trust me, by the end of this segment, you'll have a lot more to chew on. Now, imagine this for a moment. You're a taxpayer minding your business when you catch wind that the government spent billions of your hard-earned dollars on military operations like Operation Pacific Viper, operations that are supposed to keep our streets safe and drug-free. But what are you actually getting in return? Maybe not what you think. The reality behind these headline-grabbing drug busts is a tangled mess of economic burdens, policy failures, and a military-industrial complex with a thirst that may never be quenched. Stick around as we uncover the unseen costs and consequences of this so-called success in drug enforcement. Before we dissect today's news flash, let's rewind a bit. The battle against drug trafficking isn't new. It's a saga that's been evolving since the 1970s with the inception of the war on drugs. This initiative has shaped much of U.S. domestic and foreign policy, focusing on stringent law enforcement and military interventions in drug-producing nations. Fast forward to recent years, and you've witnessed a transformed landscape where cooperation between entities like the Coast Guard and the Navy is more pronounced, tackling drug smuggling with precision and technology that was once unimaginable. Remember, back in 2020, the Trump administration was criticized for expanding military roles in drug interdiction, championed as the solution to the opioid crisis threatening American lives. It was part of a broader shift in policy that leaned heavily on military might to curb the flow of narcotics into the country. And then came Operation Pacific Viper, a shining example of this aggressive stance. Launched in a climate rife with fear over opioid devastations, it sought to leverage advanced military techniques to clamp down on shipments from Latin America. It seems on the surface to be yielding results, exemplified by this jaw-dropping 20,000-pound cocaine seizure. But are we merely scratching the surface, or is there more beneath? Bear with me. This narrative arc gets more interesting. Let's dive into the numbers because, as they say, the devil is in the details. This operation saw a mind-boggling total of 100,000 pounds of cocaine intercepted since August. That's nearly 1,600 pounds snatched from the jaws of distribution each day. Now, consider this. In the fiscal year 2025, the Coast Guard reported a record 510,000 pounds of cocaine seized. Put that into perspective, that translates to 193 million potentially lethal doses, an amount sufficient to endanger over half of the U.S. population. That's staggering, isn't it? And yet, what does it really signify? Victory over drug trafficking, or merely a temporary stall as cartels adapt and evolve? Some politicians are celebrating, saying things like, "We've only just begun striking narco boats and putting narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean because they've been poisoning the American people." But let's not get carried away. Do they think we are naive? Are we supposed to ignore the fact that drug availability persists despite these achievements? It's like mopping up a flooded floor without fixing the leaky roof. The so-called successes might just be drops in a vast ocean of systemic issues. Let's turn up the heat now with a libertarian rant. This operation is a textbook case of government overreach. First, consider how military operations like these are funded. The billions spent ultimately trickle down as a heavier burden on taxpayers, fueling national debt and stoking the fires of inflation. This ain't just about drugs, folks. It's about theft of your wealth. Then there's the ever-present incompetence in how the system tackles these crises. The root causes of addiction and trafficking often go unaddressed, as government reliance on brute force over effective policy reform merely perpetuates the cycle of dependency on failing governmental solutions. Finally, this is an assault on your liberties. The more the military gears up for these drug operations, the more they creep into civilian spheres. Expanded surveillance, eroded privacy. It's a slippery slope that inches us towards a security state that many Americans find unsettling. Where do we draw the line between protection and the loss of fundamental freedoms? So, to wrap this up in a neat but heavy bow, Operation Pacific Viper, while flashy and headlining, exemplifies the depth of issues that lurk in the dark shadows of government policy. The cost is higher than just the dollars and cents. It's measured in freedoms lost and opportunities missed for more substantial, lasting reform. If you're fed up with footing the bill for these flawed strategies, make your voice heard. Hit that subscribe button and stay informed. I'm John, signing off from today's economic news. Until next time, keep questioning, keep analyzing, and never settle for the status quo.